So I would like to get started with everyone, one person at a time. I'll start with Jennifer. Tell me how long you've been an agent. Tell me how long you've been with EXP. I want to know, and I think everybody else wants to know, what did your best year in real estate look like, transactionally or gross commission wise? Kind of give us a little bit of insight to who you are and whether or not you run a team. Jennifer, do you want to get us started today?
Yeah, I can. Thanks so much, Jamie. I appreciate it. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I sure can.
Okay, perfect. I am at a remote location, so I was hoping that this would work okay. And of course, I've got my AirPods, so I'm trying to find a quiet corner. So I apologize, but I have been in real estate since 2015, with EXP since 2019. My best year in real estate was 2021. You gross commissions, is that kind of what did you say?
Gross transactions, whatever you track. I know everybody's different.
Yep. Gross commissions was 550, so it was the largest year I've had in getting into real estate. I started my career part-time from being a stay-at-home mom. So I have certainly exceeded any expectation I had for my real estate career, not thinking of it as a career initially, and it just blossomed into something I'm very thankful for.
That is amazing. I think 50 transactions is a year, especially as a parent, is like huge. If anybody else in this room feels like that is true, like give her some love because that's amazing. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kathleen, you want to go next?
Sure. Hey, I'm Kathleen. I'm from the lovely state of Florida, Central Florida to be exact, around Orlando. I have been a licensed agent since 2016. Got my license to support my flipping business. I'm also a licensed general contractor.
Oh, cool.
So I was flipping houses, got my license for that purpose, and took a stab at full-time real estate starting in 2018 because I was enjoying it so much. I was enjoying that part of the world a little bit, was backing down on my flips somewhat. Joined EXP in 2019. I have iconed every year since. My best year yet is actually this year.
Oh, great.
I thought 2 years ago was going to be my best year ever because everything down here was going crazy with COVID and 2021 was nuts. But I actually have joined the EXP luxury division this year and been working on that marketing. And so having my best year yet overall this year.
Oh, I love that. And I cannot wait to hear what that looks like. But so transactionally or GCI, where are you at year to date? Or
year to date transactions, 26, GCI, just over 450. So GCI best ever transactions down a little bit a couple of years ago when I did my prior best year in 2021, I had 55 transactions, but lower dollar amount. So my dollar average per transaction has been increasing.
I love that. And also increasing that average transaction dollar amount and working hopefully less or hopefully less transactions. I think that's what we all strive to do, right? That's great.
Working smarter and not harder. It takes a while to build up to get there though. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, good. That's so cool. Okay, if everybody loves what Kathleen said as much as I do, please give her a little bit of love. Make her feel welcome up here. Marty, you want to go next? How long have you been an agent? How long have you been with EXP? And what did your best year in real estate look like? And do you run a team?
I have been an agent for 19 years. I started out with Remax, then I moved to Keller Williams, and we've been with EXP for 4 years. We're 4-year icons. Our best year in real estate was last year, actually. We're going to come, obviously this year's not over yet. We'll probably be real close. We really thought we would blow last year out of the water this year, but obviously things kind of shifted on us when we weren't expecting it more than we thought here in Nashville. But we sold, I think it was 32 million last year, and that was our biggest year. Transactionally, our biggest year, I can't even remember what year it was. We did 125 transactions in 1 year, which we have always had either a small team with me, my husband, and an admin. Occasionally we'll have an agent or two. Like right now, I have a licensed assistant for the first time ever, which is really awesome. I should have done that a long time ago. And then we have 2 other agents that work with us as well. So this is a little bit bigger team. We've always had at least 1 to 2 agents with us. But as far as like volume, last year was definitely our biggest volume year that we've had. So
at 32 million.
32. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. I love that. And small team it sounds like you're running about 4 or 5 right now. Is that right?
It's my husband and I. We're both licensed. He's also a general contractor, 25 years. He does small development and commercial, and then I handle the resale and retail predominantly. And then we have several investors that we work with, and I've got a couple of other builders. But I have a licensed assistant and then 2 agents that work on our team. So and then an admin.
Very cool. That sounds like a great spot for a team right now, especially going into the market that we're going into. So good job. If everybody loves what Marty has to say, please give her a little bit of love. And Thomas, I got you next. Last but not least.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. So I have a very similar story, but my story is a little bit longer. So I have been licensed since 1993, and I've been in real estate since 1993. I started with Remax. I have spent 20 years with them. And I had a local company I worked for before. Remax, I became their number 1 agent in the state of North Carolina. Actually, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, in the capital. And after that has happened, I was looking around. So 3 years ago, I joined EXP, and I really wish I knew about EXP 10 years ago. I would have been far better off as a person. I'm an individual agent. I'm old school. I started business when we had pagers, if anybody can remember that, which is crazy. But my volume goes anywhere from 25 to 28 million. I'm on my own. I understand everybody want to work smart, not hard, but I'm kind of feel like I'm a workhorse. So I grind, and I have never broken $1 million in gross commission. I get very, very close in the last 2 years. So I guess hard work pays off, but also is very daunting after 30 years. So that's my short story.
That's awesome. Almost $1 million in gross commissions more than 1 year. That I would like to be where you are at. I'm not there. Love that. Okay. And did everybody in the room catch what he said about being a long-time Remax agent, only joined EXP 3 years ago? And he said, I really wish I had known about EXP a long time ago. If anybody's thinking about recruiting or reaching out to somebody, listen to what Thomas just said. That's huge. And feel free to give Thomas love.
And I'm happy to elaborate to anybody who's interested. I don't think you guys want me to talk for another 15 minutes. But if there is someone who's interested in knowing more, I'm happy to tell them the entire story. I think it would make you recruiting a far easier. Sure. Because I don't think there are not that many. So I was ranked number 42 in a country with Remax. So I have a first-hand experience with big companies, especially with Remax, who is basically one of the most dominant company. So my experience is unique because there were reasons I left Remax. And again, I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but let's just say that EXP have far better opportunities for agents. And since I've been there for 30 years, if I was with EXP, I think I could have done it in 10, what I have done in business.
Oh, yeah. I imagine you could have. That's great. That's awesome. Thanks. And do you go by Thomas or do you go by Tom?
Oh, you're very kind to ask. I go by Thomas.
Okay, Thomas, what's the best way for anybody to reach out to you on Workplace Chat or something else if they do want to talk to you about that?
So best way is somebody to call me, then they can email me. So my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number is 919-601-3005. I'm going to put it in a chat.
I just did for you. You're good.
Okay, thank you. And obviously, somebody want to text me, or they can email me. I'm happy to reply. Happy to help anybody I can, because we are a big community. We are family. So I love the aspect of EXP for sharing whatever we can. So
Great.
happy
Okay.
to help.
Well, Thomas, I'm going to start with you with my first question, then kind of go back the other way. How are your daily activities today different than they were 18 months ago?
Oh, that is a great question. So my daily activities have changed, and most of you are gonna laugh at me, but back in 2020, 21, 2022, the market was so crazy. I didn't do any prospecting, and I don't know if you guys can relate to that.
Yep.
But I didn't follow up on many leads because there were so many buyers and so many sellers. I didn't know what to do with myself. So I'm going back to the basics, literally to the basics, to the grind, where I call people, I ask for referrals. I literally starting my business like I was a new agent. And the reason I do that, because while everybody's focusing on online advertising or whatever that might be, I think it's a great tool. But a personal relationship, a personal referral base doesn't replace internet advertising. Now, I will also tell you that I do supplement my referral base about 20%, where I use online advertising to capture buyers or sellers, but that's only a small part of my daily activity. But I consciously make sure that I stay in touch with my database, which is the most important thing. And then, of course, I prospect for new buyers or new sellers. But it's very hard to find a motivation, at least personally, when there are not enough business out there. And, I see also commissions are coming down. So I don't really negotiate my commission, but lately I have to in order to stay relevant in our industry. So I do whatever it takes for me to be on the same level, or at least a similar level as I was in the last couple of years. I don't take no for answer. It's just very daunting because, again, I think it's emotionally very, very hard, at least on me, do the same work and seeing less results just because of the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I negotiate my commissions right now too, but I negotiate them up.
Awesome.
Kathleen, you want to go next? Tell me, how are your daily activities today different than they were 18 months ago?
Actually, to be completely honest, no different.
Really?
Yeah, my attitude towards the way I run my business is I need to be doing the same thing every day, regardless of the market.
What does that look like?
I start off my day always with a cup of coffee or two or three in my CRM KV Core, just making sure everybody's updated, check and see what listings have hit the market, check my hot sheets, reach out to my buyers that are active, any touches I need to do to potential sellers, any paperwork I need to get done. I always try to get all of that out of the way by 10 a.m. every day, so that all of that office work is completed and blocked out. Then my day flows depending upon what I have set up, whether it's listing appointments or showings, or if I have an open day, I either decide I'm going to take the rest of the day off for personal, balance and time, which since we don't have weekends per se, I always try to take time blocks 2 times a week for mental health, balance, do the activities I enjoy. So I go play with my horses, or take my dogs for a walk, or go exercise, or go have a lunch with a friend. But I do take time out. You have to, no matter how hard you grind. If you don't check out every so often, it becomes unhealthy. And then depending on how my day is going to flow, if it's a non-day off and I don't have showings or appointments, then I drop back into prospecting, asking for referrals, planning days for pop buys to past clients. And I find where a lot of agents that I talk to or work with fall short is not remembering to reach back out and touch those past clients in your sphere on a regular basis, to ask for those referrals and let them know that you're thinking about them, whether or not you're in the middle of a transaction with them. So I have built a really strong referral and repeat business by taking a lot of extra time for personal touches. whether it's stopping by to say hi, asking someone out for coffee, spending the time face to face, or at least reaching out somehow. Not just Christmas. Holiday season is an easy one to do, and everybody does it. Send out the cards. Do it throughout the year. Take 10 to 15 people on your list each month and do something special for them that month.
Oh, love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. Jennifer, are your daily activities different than what they were 18 months ago?
Yeah, they honestly are. Kind of could relate to what Thomas was saying. I work for, I have one main seller. We work for a builder here locally. So when we were in the height of low rates and high demand, it's like drinking from a fire hose. You couldn't do your, could have more diligently, but you could hardly do your daily routine, just responding to all the demand. And develop some bad habits in that, getting away from a daily routine. And I've had to get back at that when it comes to prospecting. Fortunately, I had some systems in place that kept me in touch with my past clients, and that has remained fruitful then as these last, 6 months have kind of changed the course. And like Thomas said, you're back in the grind and going back to the basics, which I think overall is positive, right? Because that market that we were in, all of us, was not normal, nor will it be the majority of our time, nor will it build our business consistently. So it's a good time to go back and refresh skills and focus on, how you built your business to begin with, so that's making calls and following up with past clients and, managing my CRM and all that good stuff.
Perfect. Yep. I love that. And I've heard a lot of that lately, back to the basics. But before I make a comment on that, I want to hear from Marty as well. Marty, how are your daily activities different than they were 18 months ago?
Well, my life is pretty crazy anyway. I've got 3 kiddos that are involved in anything and everything and super social and all over the map. So our schedule's wild and crazy anyway. And so our routine is really different every day. Of course, working in real estate, it's always wild and crazy. But definitely 18 months ago, it was... I don't know. I guess my routine didn't change really that much. I do, most of my business comes from past and repeat clients and things like that. So we have set things we do throughout the year to touch and keep in touch. I will say that now that things have slowed down just a little bit, it has allowed me to do more of the things that I really enjoy. And a lot of these have already been mentioned. The pop buys, the phone calls, I keep up with people on social media. If I see they're having a baby, I try to send, a box of diapers and a congratulations. I was really good at that, and I've always been really good at that. The schedule got so busy, when the market was going completely bonkers, that I was not doing that as well as I typically do, or the way I was liking to do it. Since it's slowed down a little bit, I have had the opportunity to do some more things to take care of me. Being the age that I am, and my kids the ages that they are, and trying to be everything to everybody, I do agree that it is very important to block out those times for exercise, block out those times for the facials, the massages, whatever the things are that you enjoy. And those are the things that seem to go away first when the market gets really crazy. So I've tried really hard to implement those things back into my schedule so that I can be there to be 100% for all my people, my clients, my family, my husband, my coworkers, that sort of thing. So my schedule hasn't changed a ton, but with a little bit of the slowdown has allowed me to do the things that I enjoy doing for my clients, for myself, for my friends and family, a little bit more and a little bit better than what I was doing before.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. I'm hearing, if everybody else in the room is also hearing this, leveraging those relationships, touching base in your CRM, going back to the basics, like kind of having that beginner mindset of like showing up humble, showing up hungry, and doing the work. I love it. This is great. If there are other icons in the room, I imagine you're probably doing the same thing, showing up to work and doing the work. If you are wanting to become an icon, that's what all of these icons are doing. And it's the simplest way to success, really, right? Is just do the work, show up. Very good. Cool. Okay, so Marty, let's start with you since we just heard from you, and I think that's a good transition. Let's regarding what you are doing right now, this question is, what are your top 3 primary sources of business right now? But I don't want to hear like fear. I want to hear like someone like it's been mentioned like that you're going and doing pop buys for 50. I think Kathleen was the one who said it. You pick out like 15 of your favorite people and do it like once a month. That's what I want to hear. Or if it's fear, like you're going to 5 social events, community social events per month. Like give me a little bit deeper of your top 3 sources for business right now.
Okay, so something I haven't mentioned on this particular panel yet, where I'm getting quite a bit of my business right now, is I did a merger with an agent that I've known for 19 years. She started out with RE/MAX with me. She went to, we both were at Keller Williams together, and she hasn't moved over to EXP yet, but she's coming. She was retiring. She wanted to retire, and she had read the book, The Golden Handoff, and was coaching with a guy that was very familiar in transitioning agents into retirement. So she took about a year to think about it, plan it, and it interviewed several agents. She decided to go with Matt and I, that's my husband. We've known her and her husband for years. We met numerous times. It literally was about a year that we planned this merger, where she would merge her business into mine. I would take over her clients, and for a set referral fee, and it's a 3-year merger to where she would eventually phase out of the real estate business. So it would allow, her husband had retired, and it would allow her to travel more with him and do things like that. She had run a small team over the years, was very successful in my same market that I'm in, and it has worked out beautifully. There have been some little, I don't want to say hiccups, but just transitioning challenges, but overall it has been great.
Cool.
And so I've gotten a lot of my business from that merger, which has been really nice. The rest of my business, the bulk of my business does come from repeat and referral, and from my sphere and touching them and whatnot. We do a handful of things over the year to keep in touch with our clients. One of the big things that we're ramping up to do right now that I absolutely love is what we call Pi Day. We invite all my clients, and of course all my new clients that I have gotten from this merger, which I'm still building relationships with. We send out invitations. Everybody, we have like 4 different: chess, fudge, cherry, and pecan, and everybody picks the flavor they want. They RSVP. We go up to this little Amish bakery, pick up these amazing homemade pies, bring them back, and everybody comes to the office from like 10 to 5 that day to pick their pies up. We get to visit with people. We get to talk to people. We get to do the belly-to-belly business, which I really enjoy. And it works beautifully. We typically, of that event, we will get 3 to 5 people that'll say, hey, I know somebody, or I'm thinking about selling in the next year or 2. We write those down, and it lets you know how to follow up with those people. So that's a really great one. We implemented last year a new touch and event for our clients and our past clients, repeats and referrals. There's a big Christmas tree farm that is right here locally, and we have an amazing Santa that we work with, and we have him come out to the Christmas tree farm on a Sunday afternoon, and we usually have a little goodies and gifts. So we have a photographer there, and we invite all our people to come out, hang out at the Christmas tree farm, get their Christmas tree if they want, take pictures with Santa, and it's like a 2-hour event. Again, we get to meet and greet. Everybody's happy, fun, holiday kind of thing. It's a very inexpensive event for us because we make a deal with the Christmas tree farmer that, and we share Santa Claus with him, and then we give him access to all our pictures that we take so that he can use them for marketing. So we do kind of like a co-market with that. That's another event we do that is really successful and pretty awesome. We usually try to do some sort of end of the year or beginning of the year event, depending, where it's a meet and greet. We have everybody appetizers and cocktails. We did it last year in November. I think this year we're going to schedule it more for late February, early March, because knowing coming into the spring, if the rates do what historically they should do, which is go down right before that election year, then we feel like spring's going to be a big boom, and we want to get in front of people right then. So we're strategically planning something for that time of year. So that's the type of things that we're doing to stay in front of people, and that's where our business is coming from. It's wildly successful, all of those events.
Love that. So yeah, really just living on your people, showing up, the law of reciprocity. That's what a lot of what I'm hearing. Yeah. Cool.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I flicked my mic off and didn't realize that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, ours really is. It's repeat. When I say repeat and referral and sphere, that's what it is. And now the lady that I've merged with, we ran our businesses very similarly. Her businesses came from the same places, so I'm just doing the same thing with her clients. But it's going to take me a minute to build those types of relationships, with her people as well. But
cool, love it. Kathleen, you want to go next? What are your top 3 primary sources of business right now?
Quick question for Marty.
Yeah.
Is that retiring agent going in as an EXP referral agent?
So she was with Keller Williams, and when we left Keller Williams, she had stayed there. The idea was that she would have already come over. I haven't pressed that, honestly, with her. She knows that the opportunity is there. She knows it's going to save her money. What our referral deal went so well that she ended up capping at KW really quickly because of all the referrals that I was sending over from the deals we were closing. So she wanted to kind of ride that cap out, even though I know that you can match it at EXP. It was something I haven't pressed on her because I'm really trying to make this merger. And she keeps saying, I'm coming. So I think initially she'll come as an agent, and then we will probably, once we get real close to the, she may just come on as in that referral group. Yeah, we've talked about that as well. We're not 100% sure how that's going to happen. But I think ideally she's not doing any business anymore other than working with me. There's been a few deals that she has done a co-list on because it's one of those clients that really wants her name on it. And I don't really care. That stuff doesn't bother me. I know I'm doing all the work. But so we might bring her over initially as just as an agent. And then I think eventually, yes, we would have her license go into that referral group because she won't be doing any listing or co-listing after that. We're just wrapping up literally right now our first year of this merger. It has been amazing. So I think as we go into the second year, we won't have as many of those co-list type situations. So that'd be the only reason she'd stay on as a full-blown agent and not just do the referral.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing that info.
Yeah.
Because I've been going down the same track, working to try to find a couple local agents that are close to retirement, parlay off of their sphere and business and past clients as well. So I was curious how you're handling and managing that. So that's very interesting. So one way, yes, I haven't successfully done it yet, is to try to work with some retiring agents, because when the referral option opened up to be a referral agent, it's the perfect situation for a retiring agent that doesn't want to sling transactions anymore, but would like to still keep residual money from it. So that's one way I'm working on now, reaching out to those folks to try to find 1 or 2 to take over their book of business. Another way, of course, I mentioned earlier is reaching back out to your sphere, your connections, your past clients, referrals, with face-to-face meetings. It's impactful when you show up and meet somebody outside of the transaction. So I work on doing 10 to 15 of those every single month, and cycling through my list of 300 or 400 close sphere friends, colleagues, and past clients. I do that as well. Lastly, I work closely with a couple local charities and get very involved with their events. And it's a great way to network with like-minded people who are passionate about the same causes you're passionate about. So I stay involved with a couple local charities, volunteer for events, help organize, and so on. And that just helps you connect with other people in the community, stay active in the community. So anything you like to do, anything that you enjoy or have a passion for, if you get involved in that, you're going to authentically meet up with people that are like you or like-minded with you, that you'll hit it off with and create good relationships with.
I think that's great. And for any of the team leads, I've run a team for a while myself, and the always comment back is, well, the leads aren't any good. The leads aren't any good. If you're counting on like bought leads to build your business, we're sitting in a room here with multiple icons, and they're all saying that they're leveraging personal relationships nonstop to be getting their business. I love that. I think this should be recorded, and any team leader should be sending it to their team to listen to. That's wonderful. Jennifer, you want to go next?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go. I think it might be a little different for me, only because new construction is the bulk of my business, right? So open houses are a big lead generator. We're in a really quickly growing market over here, even with the recent slowdown. So new construction is huge, and in the builder I work for, that is the biggest lead source we have. In addition to that, though, from a client perspective, I can relate with when Kathleen's talking about too, like leveraging relationships and really digging back into those. I stayed pretty consistent with keeping in touch with those people. So and I have systems in place to do that. My marketing gal has some great stuff set up that's consistent. And so I tend to have my referral funnel filled as well. If it's, and whether it's past clients themselves or referring me to people, because, we've worked together, and I just try to stay top of mind through, social media and everything, but then also just like that's been talked about, right? Staying in the circles that are being active in the circles that you're most comfortable and excited to be a part of. So whether or not that's with my children's school events, sporting events, all of those things, if you're passionate about your job and you're passionate about what you're involved in, those things aren't really separate. So I talk about real estate wherever I'm at, and it just naturally comes up. I'm an individual agent, even though I'm part of a bigger unorganized, yeah, that's basically what it is, unofficial team with the builder. So, I would say open houses, social events for sure, generate the most leads for me. As far as the third one, I would say my past clients are a constant source of referrals. So, I don't know, nothing. I mean, every year is different. We'll do different events or thank yous. I always, gifts come naturally to me. So I'm always gifting my clients on special occasions. I'm a proponent and a believer in that. And it comes, like I said, it comes easy. So just always letting them know if they have a special anniversary, sending a bottle of wine to the restaurant that they're at, knowing that through social media, usually if they have a baby, keeping track of birthdays and all that good stuff and making sure they feel special and remembered. In today's world where everybody kind of can feel like a number, I think the personal touch goes a long way.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think, so based off the fact that I'm the moderator, I get to ask questions. I like that because a lot of times I have questions and I don't get to ask them, or I feel weird asking them. But the builder relationship, we've got builders in our area. I'm sure there's other people in the room that are curious how you started that relationship. How did you start a builder relationship to be their go-to realtor? What are your tips to give everybody in the room?
Well, I would say the way I got into real estate was a little bit more unique. Like I said, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had some friends that were, some friends who were in real estate. He owned his own local brokerage and was the primary listing agent for the sole listing agent for his brother's building company, which started grassroots here in central Iowa. And that company grew and grew. I'm just giving you the short little story, but the company grew and grew. Before we knew it, in the end of 2018, they were bought out by D.R. Horton. They'd grown from, building one house a year to gosh, can't remember quite now, but maybe 350 houses the last year. And for our area, that's pretty significant. So when they sold to D.R. Horton, we were all out. Our mom and pop brokerage was kind of, we had to do something different, right?
Yeah.
So our broker at the time and myself went out to solicit other small to medium-sized builders that we could maybe do the same thing that he had just done marketing-wise with his brother's building company, and interviewed with a few different builders before we found a good fit and one that we could really recreate what he had done previously. So that is kind of what happened. And honestly, we've been able to see tremendous success then with applying the same marketing strategies that we did that he did with his brother's building company with this new one. So I think like any client or like any seller, they want to know that you have their back. So there's a lot of things, and among other things, right, that you're capable, that you know the market, that your experience brings a wealth of knowledge. It helps position their product in the right light. I mean, there's a lot of things to consider, but it really is just looking at it like, you have one seller, right? And when we tried to attract that business, it was not only building a relationship, but it was also we switched to EXP at the same time. So promoting the benefits of self-branding from a builder perspective, from an agent perspective, and a cohesiveness. And so there was a lot that went into it. I would just say though, that if you feel like you have a connection or could be an asset to a builder, be confident when you go to ask. We started with one listing, right? He had his business spread all over several different brokerages, and we've been able to collectively bring it under one umbrella. And he's seen success in that. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a hard question, but really, I mean, easy too. It can be replicated in your own markets with your own builders. But just have to, I don't know. There's a lot to it.
Yeah. I mean, kind of what I'm hearing is to offer to help them and then build that relationship with them and then offer to be their sole listing provider.
Yeah, like I said, we started with one, but our presentation was geared toward wanting all of his business and laying out the benefits of that. And so, you have to start by being successful with what they give you, and then show them how them placing their business with you and their trust in you, you're able to help make them. For him, we were able to streamline his process so he could be more scalable, right? And build more efficiently as the demand increased for his product.
Okay, very cool. Thomas, what are your top 3 primary sources of business right now? I know you kind of touched on it with the last question of going back to the basics and leveraging relationships, but tell me like a little bit deeper, what does that mean for you?
Okay. So I will tell something very, very old school that I have done a long, long time ago, and I'm still doing, and it's been extremely successful. So since I have a database, obviously I harvest my database. As you ladies have mentioned, I do send out not all the calendars, but I stay in touch with them at least 4 or 5 times a year with various mailings. But here is what I am doing that is equally successful. So our area only have maybe about 600,000-700,000 people. It's Raleigh, Cary, Apex, Chapel Hill, Durham. So it depends how far you want to go. But for some of you who don't know the area, spread out quite a bit. So instead of me doing the drive-bys, which I do here and there, it's just a whole lot of ground to cover, especially when you're busy, right? I stay busy year round, not as busy, but I still stay busy. So I don't have time for 45 minutes to drive one direction to see one client. Wrong or right, I don't. But I do send them little handwritten notes, and those handwritten notes saying, by the way, I was just thinking of you. I was in your neighborhood. Hope all is well. Are you thinking about moving? Or did you know that your home value went up $200,000? Whatever that might be, I send them sweet little notes periodically to make sure they remember me. And of course, I ask for referrals, and sometimes I do follow up with a phone call. So that would be a good conversation. Number two, I started to do Google advertising, and that is not quite pay-per-click. It is, but it isn't. If you register your business with Google, right, you spend money, you will have a lot of clicks, but not necessarily good leads. So you have to be a local service provider with a lot of Google reviews. So if it was me and I was a newer agent, I would start getting reviews on Google for your homepage from the past clients. And the third thing I do is literally, again, very, very old school, just stay in touch with the database and harvest your database. I mean, I know that not everybody has a database who is newer. So, open houses, meeting with a builder, talk to attorneys, for example, who do divorces or probates or whatever that might be. I don't do it because, again, I have my relationship set up. But if it was me starting again, knowing what I know today, I would definitely start to harvest those relationships. So that is my take on that.
That's great. I love that. And your comment, not everyone has a database that's newer. I would say everybody does have a database. Maybe not a database of like sold people, like sold clients, but just go through the contacts in your phone, start plugging those into your CRM and harvest them. That's my advice.
So let me piggyback on what you said. So you are 100% correct. So I started to train some of the newer agents. And what I said was, hey, by the way, do you get your nails done? Yes. Do you get your haircut? Yes. Where do you buy your suit? Where do you buy your shoes? Whatever that might be. Who is your HVAC contractor, right? All of these people you touch in life are potential buyers or potential sellers.
Yep.
So that's also a very, very good way to basically have a database, stay in touch with them. And one of my HVAC guys, for example, have bought a house, right? So it doesn't mean that they have to be, working somewhere and buying $1 million house. He bought a $400,000 house. It is quite all right. It's another great sale. I didn't have to pay for, a referral fee. So, those things work.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing I would piggyback off of that is that even if your HVAC guy isn't buying or selling a house, statistically, he knows 6 people that are buying and selling houses in the next 12 months. And that is why you can also leverage those relationships and, harvest the people in your phone or the contacts in your life, the barista that you see every day that kind of knows your order. Love that. Cool. Okay.
So Radical Lucas have sent a comment, and it says, not really. When you move in a new state and new city, database is hard, and I don't have my glasses, build in this case because people don't share their phone numbers as before. And Radical, you're probably correct, but I will also tell you something, and I hope it's not going to be an unpopular thing that I say. Some people or some of us have an easier time to talk to people than others. I do think everything what the ladies have said about the Chamber of Commerce, about creating context, if you're new to a state, yes, you will have a harder time to connect with people because you don't know anybody. But again, it doesn't mean it's impossible, right? If you live in an apartment complex, right, you can send out little cards to apartment complex, the entire apartment complex. Hey, look, I'm an agent. Are you looking for a house? You can follow up with them. If you're living in a community where you have a house, you can do the same. So it will take time. You have to build that. Obviously, you cannot expect that after the first year you will have 1,000 people in your database. Just have to work at that, right? Anywhere you go, anywhere that you talk to, you have to let them know, hey, look, I'm in real estate. And if you have a community, right? My wife, for example, has a community. I'm Hungarian. She is from India. So, her community is very different than my community. Those are fantastic ways to basically embed yourself where you will receive referrals if you basically harvest those relationships. So that was for you. I just saw it in a comment box.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is in today's world, you've also got social media. So if you move to a brand new area, do you have a neighborhood Facebook page that you can make those people your contacts? Do you have like a parent support group or a PTA, a PTO, parent-teacher organization, or something where you can plug in and start to get to know those people and have those people become your sphere, your contacts. I think that's great. And Thomas, if you're from Hungary, is it actually Tomas?
Thomas. Well, my actual name is Tomáš, but nobody can pronounce it, so Thomas it is.
Okay, sounds good. All right. And then number 3, I'm going to start with Kathleen. I think she's the only person I haven't started yet with. What does the next 12 months of business look like for you? What is your mission over the next 12 months? And what's on your agenda to make it happen?
So I do most of my planning for the upcoming year in end of November into December when it gets a little quiet. So to be quite honest, I haven't set my goals for next year yet. I will say expanding in my market any way possible will include what we mentioned earlier with trying to bring on a couple referral agents that are retiring. I think that's my main focus. I feel like it's not necessarily the easiest way to expand your business because there's a lot that goes on personality-wise when you transfer a book of business from one agent to another. And if you have different business styles or if all of their clients don't hit it off with you, there are struggles there. And I get that. But I think in changing market where a lot of people have seen some declines in their businesses, and we've seen a lot of agents, even in Florida, our market stayed really strong. I think we're a stronger market than a good part of the country, which is probably why I haven't had to scramble as much and change my daily activities because we're still kind of churning along pretty hot. But I do see a lot of agents that are deactivating their licenses, getting out of the business, or not renewing with their, with their associations. And I feel like it's a good time to be talking to those long-standing older agents that are looking to retire that may not already have a succession plan in place.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a bad way to go. So that's going to be my focus, along with trying to reestablish existing relationships, make sure I'm doing a really good job reaching out to my base of business. I always have my mind open for other ways to obtain referrals that don't require a lot of upfront spend. Because I find that upfront spend, a lot of times you're churning a lot of money for not a lot of good return. So some things that have come up lately, some folks have been throwing out different referral systems, whether it's within EXP or outside of EXP, to expand on the referral market and focus there. But I think number one for me is trying to take on some books of business from at least 1 or 2 retiring agents and attract them into the referral agent program.
Yeah, I love that. So a statistic came out, I think yesterday from NAR, 100,000 agents have gotten out of the business since the beginning of the year. And talking about the golden handoff, that book, buy 10 of them. Keep one of them, read it, send the other 9 of them out to agents that have had good careers. See and write a personal note in it that says, hey, if this is something you're interested in, I just read this and thought of you. I think that'd be a great way to start that conversation if anybody is interested in doing that. I put that down in my notes from today, so I love that. Marty, you want to go next? What does the next 12 months goals look like for you? If you don't know your goals, that's okay. Just what does the next 12-month mission look like for you and your business, and what are you thinking you're doing to make it happen?
So we start planning for next year, like right now. We actually have a planning event next week that we open up to our team, our downline, and then any agents that we really enjoy spending time with. We'd love to have a business with us if possible. And we rent out this big suite in the Margaritaville Hotel in Nashville, and it has a nice big patio and a big kitchen area and living room. It's called like the Jimmy Buffett suite or something. I don't know. But anyway, we did it last year. It was great. We start at 10, and we have lots of different trainers. We have Sean Kokoska that's going to come in and do a small training virtually. We've got Jay and Ashley that are in our upline. We've got somebody that's going to do we always try to focus on something like internal, like, last year we had somebody from the Enneagram come in and do a quick session on that. So we have the whole day planned out with really good stuff. We do some of the planning where you break down the goals, how much money you want to make, break it all the way back down to like how many appointments you have to have a week. We go over that. We do goal setting, and then we go over dream boards and things of that nature. So we have a whole day from start to finish, and then we do a cocktail hour in the afternoon. And then anybody who wants to stay to do dinner, we have a dinner reservation. And so it's just a full day of planning for next year. And so it's always a really exciting time. Our goals, honestly, for Matt and I stay pretty consistent as far as our volume. We're doing about what we want to do volume wise, but what we are looking at is that how we can leverage a little bit more. We did bring on a licensed assistant. She's going to work with us for 2 years, and then if she loves it, she's we'll help her get out on her own. We're going to focus a little bit more on our downline and some recruitment and surrounding ourselves with some more high-minded agents. We love the ideas of brainstorming and spending time together planning and just like what we're doing here, just high-minded agents together, bouncing ideas off each other. So that's in our plan for next year. Additionally, with EXP, we love the fact that it allows you to be licensed in multiple states. I'm licensed in Tennessee, Florida, and Alabama. A lot of people from Tennessee, especially the Nashville area where I'm in, are interested in owning second homes or vacation rentals in Florida. I'm going to dig into that market a little bit more. I've got a great referral partner that I've been doing business with for years and referring things down to her. I thought she was going to come to EXP. I still hope that she comes, but they're just really hung up on these small little boutique brokerages. So I'm going to dig in a little bit more to my licensure there and try to do a little bit more business on my own there. My husband's goal is to get his GC license in Florida this year. So we have some pretty big and hefty goals.
That's great.
So I guess in a nutshell, leverage for us here in Nashville and helping other agents succeed. And then also expanding our blanket a little bit more to use these licenses we have in other states. And my goal is to get licensed in Kentucky. Nashville market's gotten pretty expensive. And so a lot of people are hopping right over that Kentucky line to go into Franklin, Kentucky, and a couple of places. I've got an agent up there that I've been referring things out to. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just grab that Kentucky license as well. It's another beautiful thing about EXP. You can license as many states as you want. It doesn't cost you hardly anything to do it. And it costs you nothing with the brokerage. So just kind of looking at ways that we can be a little bit more, that we can shift a little bit more and service our clients and agents a little bit better. So that's our goal for next year.
Cool. So a lot of expansion recruitment wise and maintaining business in a down market. That's great. Jennifer, where are you at?
We did have our goal planning for the next year here, 2024. We did that both as a team with our builder and then also individually here this last, about 2 weeks ago now. So based on that information, obviously we back into how we're going to reach those numbers, new marketing ideas, all of that stuff as we proceed, right? Because it is a little bit of a different market. And so that changes some of our planning for next year, but it's good. And also expansion, yes, adding new agents to the team. I think it's really it's really a good thing. I try to always have it done by mid-October, only because I feel like even though it's still busy here, it sets us up for strong for the first of the year, right? And I feel like here by February 1st, you're busy enough again where those things better be implemented or they never will be. So I love hearing some of the other ideas for like a planning day and making it super fun. Like Marty was talking about, we don't really do that and we could. So I love that. That's going to be a takeaway for me because I think that gets people excited. Some people hone in on the numbers and they can do it without all that. We all can, but it does make it does make it more fun, I think, and something that you look forward to instead of almost dreading, because I think we can get in that mindset. And I use Tim and Julie Harris's planning for the next year. So they're in our upline, and they've been tremendous and guiding us in that way. So
great. And if you've already done all of the number work for what the next year looks like for you, but you want to do something fun, like schedule a time to do a vision board with all those numbers. That's
what? I love that idea too. Yeah, I love it. Sometimes we can get our, be focused so much on the numbers that we forget to have fun, which is not always awesome. But yeah, it's a good reminder just listening to all these ideas. It's really cool. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. And Thomas, you've been in the business now 30 years. You've seen at least one recession, and you know that 2024 is probably going to be, everybody's saying 2024 is going to be worse than 2023. And I'm really curious to hear what your next 12-month mission looks like in your business and what you're going to do to make it happen. So take us away and wrap us up for the day.
I'm going to sidetrack a little bit everybody because I am not a huge planner to start with. I do not write business plans. Don't ask me why my wife has 3 masters and an MBA. I just don't do it. So here are the things I usually, however, write down that I need to get better at. I need to get better at basically leveraging 85,000 agents with EXP to have relationships, right? I need to track. So North Carolina, I think in a top five state when people are still migrating to, a lot of people migrating from up north and also from the West Coast. So I need to get better at networking with other agents and create relationships, not necessarily just send out an email, say, by the way, I pay a referral fee, to talk to them, get to know them. So that is one of my goals. But for planning, believe it or not, I usually plan if I do a financial planning, right? Because we are in real estate and many of us are successful. A lot of people forget that at some point when we get to 60, we need to have a retirement, right? So I do a lot of financial planning with a 401k, with cash balance. I do a lot of that to make sure that number one, my business is set up to sustain 2024 in case if there is a downturn. Where do I need to cut? Where do I need to increase? And what do I need to do to at least stay on the same level? Even if my business is not expanding, I'm not planning to expand in 2024. But what I'm seeing is we're probably going to have a little bit of harder time to sustain the level we are at. So I need to basically do the planning for myself to see what I need to do, what I need to change to stay the same, if it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. You ladies agree?
I do, very much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for chiming in. The way that if I were just food for thought for you, Thomas, is if I were looking at trying to build relationships and build that relationship with agents to refer to Michigan, which I'm in mid-Michigan. I mean, barely anybody moves up here unless you're moving up here with relocation for a job. But the regional rallies that they're getting away from the big shareholders and doing these regional rallies to help us agents be able to make them easier. I'd say attend a couple regional rallies in the regions you want to go to. That's a great way to meet, high producing agents in those areas. That might be something worth looking at.
I agree 100%. And today with our very sensitive environment, I will say something and hopefully no one gets too worked up about it, but in my business in the last 30 years, I noticed that ladies, for some reason, have a much easier time to connect and socialize with others. Now, again, one of the reasons is because I'm 6'7", I'm 240 pounds. I used to play basketball, right?
Wow.
Sometimes I'm in a suit and I have an accent, right? So when you look at me and you don't know me, I might be a little bit intimidating.
Sure.
So always use your best judgment of where to socialize. And I do think that what you said, that go to the EXP meeting or go to some of those or Chamber of Commerce, I think it's a fantastic way to get to know others. I am not the most social person, unfortunately. So I'm much more technical. I did build my own house, so I also have a general contractor's license, which I don't necessarily use to make connections. But again, I built my business a little bit differently from a ground up before the internet. So again, for me to give advice for somebody who is new in a business, it would be tough. But again, all I can tell you that hard work, nothing beats hard work, right? Somebody can be very, very tech savvy, social media savvy, and that's fantastic. But grinding and having the hard work to the basics with a database, building a database, talking to people, working at it every single day, you can't beat that. So that's my take on that.
I love that. Thank you for wrapping us up with that, talking about hard work, getting back to why you guys are all up here on the stage, Icon Agents. Thank you for taking the time today. Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. We're supposed to go to about 12:45 or 2 minutes over right now, right?
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us, and to the panel, Jennifer, Kathleen, Marty, and Thomas, for being part of this. I appreciate everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks,
Thank you for
everybody.
having us.
Great to meet you
Absolutely.
all.
I want to
Thanks for
thank
having
you all for coming today. And if you're watching this live on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button, and we'll see you here next Friday, same time.
Thank you all. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, all.